Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with a video twofold. First of all, I want to take and put in a plug for a fellow VC member who's, I don't want to upset him by saying this, but I don't blame him a little bit. He's a little frustrated at the progress of his channel. It's a good channel. He doesn't show a lot of vinyl, but he's very much into music. Shows a lot of CDs, does a lot of these artist profiles. The channel is called Reluctant Collector. And another way to find him really easy is just type in Andre's artist profile, and you'll get a bunch of stuff. A really decent channel. He's not getting a lot of views for whatever reason. I was talking to him earlier today, and I just the least we could do, as fellow VC members, is kind of like, oh hey, just put in plugs for people. If you see somebody struggling, go for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to all of you that are subscribed to my channel. There's, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you too. It's taken a little while to get there, but I've got over 300 subscribers in him. If you could check out his channel, I'm sure that you would find something that you'd really dig. Give him a shout, subscribe. Keep the guy afloat. Okay, it'd be great to do that. Okay. There you go, buddy. Hopefully that helps you, okay? The other thing that I wanted to do was hopefully try to keep this relatively short. I know I'm going to forget one or two really key points. I just wanted to talk about the subject of transferring vinyl to another medium. A lot of people like to transfer, or some people like to transfer vinyl to a digital format so they could listen to it in their car or whatever. And I wanted to take and bring up a couple of finer points that I think are kind of important. I've done it. I actually was pretty heavily into it for a little while, and I've veered away, and you'll probably see why I veered away from it after I'm done talking to you, because I kind of got a little carried away with it and a little anal and very, made some great stuff, but it took forever. First, I wanted to look at a couple of different aspects. Number one, the equipment that you're using. Number one, let's talk about turntables. A lot of people get these USB turntables, and I have no beef against USB turntables, some of them anyway. Honestly, this is not Audio-Technica, and I have no issues with it. However, I don't use the preamp. I run it directly into the phono of my receiver. And there are some reasons for that. And I think that it's important, if you could possibly use some form of a preamp to get your an external preamp, preferably. They sometimes work better. It's here we go. I'm gonna throw a lot of personal opinions in, okay? But just from personal experience and stuff, I find you get what you pay for. I'll probably say that too many times in this video, but you buy $150 USB turntable, and it comes with that little CDR or CD-ROM with whatever program it would be that was a free bundle. You're getting what you pay for. And if you want to just make a quick transfer and you're okay, that's okay. And I'm not trying to criticize anybody who is just doing that. If you want to get a little deeper into it, though, first thing is check out what you're using for a preamp. And preamps aren't really all that hard to find, really. And some of them can get ridiculously expensive, but in the case of if you're using an old school turntable, I hate that term, but if you're using an older turntable or one without a preamp built in, you're going to need some kind of an external preamp anyway. So I've used, actually doing this process, I've used the Audio-Technica with the preamp, it's a better preamp than some of them out there, but it's still, I have an old preamp that I sometimes will pull out as well, an external preamp. The other thing that some people don't think about, but make sure that your turntable can play what you're going to transfer. And it's kind of like, duh, of course, but not really. A lot of turntables, even in the 80s, the 80s manufacturers gave up implementing 78 RPM. And I did a lot of transfer of 78s for people and stuff. And you're thinking, no big deal, that free little software that I got has this magic button that you press in it. it regulates the pitch. And you go from 45 to 78. Probably really not the best thing to do because it's just, I don't care for it. Again, if you're doing a quick transfer and you're cool with it, I'm really happy for you because you're going to get away with it a lot cheaper than. But luckily, they're making some turntables today, like and I'm not putting a plug in for the Audio Technica. I keep pointing at it and saying I like her, but at the same time, that it can at least play 78s. Another thing to think about when you're doing playing 78s is this just isn't for transferring, and this is something that a lot of people kind of go, they'll play a 78 using their regular stylus. And that's really not the best idea because the diameter yeah, of the tip of the needle on a stylus that will properly play 78s is wider because the grooves inside 78 are wider. So you'll get much better fidelity. You're not going to destroy the 78 or your needle. So all those things play into it. As far as software is concerned, I've kind of picked on those free bundle things. They're okay for the quickie purpose, but if you really want to, you get what you pay for. I told you I was going to say that. I use a program, again, I'm not doing a plug for any of this stuff, but I used a program, still have it, called Isotope RX, which is it's a lot more expensive, but it does a lot better of a job than I feel. I have a lot more control. One thing that a lot of these a lot of programs will do, and I guess this leads into the next subject, is doing the transfer process. Try to transfer it into a larger file format. Don't be afraid of that. MP3s are all right, I guess, but I mean, Wave and some of these other formats that are larger with less compression are going to give you a much better sound. Some people, I've gotten some transfers from some people of 78s, and they did it at like a bit rate of like 80 in MP3, and it drove me nuts because their response was, well, heck, look at the frequency response on some of these, especially these pre 1925 acoustically recorded. Yeah, it's a lot less of a dynamic range, but at the same time, I just think you're losing something. Maybe it's just me, maybe because my hearing's, like I've said in other videos, isn't the greatest anymore. I would just rather use a nice big waveform, get as much sound as you possibly can if you've got to do it. That's just me. Another thing as far as transferring is concerned is what you're doing to the file after you get it in. A lot of these programs have these great little declick program, software. You just press the little button and all your clicks magically go away. And the great thing is all the clicks go away. The bad thing is a lot of your upper end goes away too. If it's a little bit of a better program, it tries to distinctly pick out what is a click or a pop or whatever, but it doesn't hit it all the time. And this is where you'll understand why I don't do this much anymore. I'll go after click by click. In an Isotope RX, you can isolate things and completely remove them, and then take just a smidgen of a second of the file or of the piece and that happened right before it and kind of paste it in there, and you could almost seamlessly do it if you're really good at it and you have it's in a good enough place. Takes hours and hours and hours, and it's a pain, but it could happen. If you really want to make it work, you can make it work. Again, everybody say after me. You get what you pay for. I know I'm going to forget something. I'm going to go back and look at this and go, oh man, I should have said this too. you know, if you don't need to do it, don't do it. It's a lot of work. I know that sounds kind of negative, but I mean, most stuff is available in a halfway decent CD sounding format, and you're transferring it to a digital format anyway. But in the case of, there's a lot of stuff that's never going to be available, a lot of 78s and stuff. So I encourage you, if you're going to really do something with it, then get get the best possible stuff you can, and knock yourself out. Alrighty. Hey, until next time. Thank you for watching, and remember, go check out Andre's channel, Reluctant Collector. Okay. Until next time, everybody. Peace and love.